Jack Squad. How everybody doing? Hope all is well, and I hope you're making it happen for yourself. You got to make it happen for yourself. Okay, listen. This is part 3 of my narcissist series, and today I'm going to talk about the symptoms, what you'll see from that person, right? Because it's quite distinct, right? And it's true, a lot of people can have some of these symptoms, but not all of them. If someone has all of them, pay attention, right? Now, the first one is their excessive need for admiration and attention. They like admiration and attention, whether it's good or bad. That's my experience, whether it's good or bad. They want the attention, they like the attention. And I think that comes from something down the line that they didn't get any, right? And I know in my case, my ex was the middle child of about 12. He was too young to be, and this was his description, he was too young when their daddy would come. He was too young to really go with the big boys, but he was too old to be around the little boys. He was in the middle, right? And I always knew that he needed attention, not knowing that he was a narcissist, right? Didn't know that, like I told you, until recently, right, when it was all over. So they have excessive need for attention and admiration. They like to be admired. They want to be the man. They want to be the it person. They like being the it person. They like being the it person. My ex was always stating that he wanted to be around a crowd of people because he was an entrepreneur. And he wanted to be a crowd of people, and he wanted everybody to buy from him. He just wanted to be surrounded by people that wanted to buy from him. He said it all the time. Like he just wanted to be around a sea of people, right? Also, very, very important is their disregard for other people's feelings. When I tell you all, I could not understand that part, the no feelings. When I say no feelings, anger, but genuine empathy, even love. I don't even know if they're capable of love, right? Don't have that. Don't have that. Have concern, but them genuine deep down feelings, they don't have that. They disregard your feelings. Your feelings are not important. Your feelings are not important. I'm going to tell several stories when I get on this chapter in my book, because this is later in my life, of what would happen when he would make me cry, right? What that did to him. So you got to get the book for that. You know what I'm saying? Because it's go deep. The book ain't finished, but when I tell y'all, this particular period of my life was a period of where I was growing, I was evolving, and I was ready to be with my person. I prayed and thought it was him, right? So a lot of stuff I took because I thought that's what you're supposed to do, and I thought that was my person. They had no feelings, and I, someone full of feelings, love everybody. It just didn't match. It just did not match, right? They also have the inability to handle any criticism. They don't take blame, that's for sure. If anything, they will blame you and have you thinking it's your fault. They don't take criticism at all. At all. I remember one of the last conversations I had with my ex since I've been here, and I would say, I know, because I knew his family was upset that we weren't together. We've been together over a decade. And he said he didn't acknowledge that they were angry. He said they'll be happy when I get you back. He never can acknowledge. Never. I don't even think if he ever said I'm sorry. And if he did, it was not meaningful. It was not meaningful. So they don't take criticism well. They never do anything wrong. And when I tell you, this was like a fighting an uphill battle with him, right? And I did not know what was wrong. I just couldn't figure this person out. Like, what is wrong? And it took me years to realize he's crazy, right? They have a sense of entitlement. And they are very important in their mind. They are the most important, right? They have a sense of entitlement, and they are the most important, and they don't understand why you don't know that, right? This narcissist thing, I've been doing a lot of reading about it, right? Don't know where it stems from. I'm going to keep reading into that. But it to me, it comes from a lot of insecurities, right? Something that has not been resolved in childhood. And that's why with my ex, a lot of things I not want to say aloud, but I overlooked because I understood his childhood, me coming from a troubled childhood. I understand that childhood trauma carries with you. If you don't ever get it resolved, which I don't even know if all of it is even possible to resolve, right? I think it happened, you just learn how to deal with it. And try to be better than what they think you're going to be or you're supposed to be, right? But I knew that he had childhood trauma. Never knew to the extent, still don't know, because I've learned some things from his siblings and nieces that explains a lot of things. I won't go into it here, but it explains a lot of things. And so that unresolved, unloved, so the thing that you don't get, this is just my opinion, whatever it is that you don't get, it can lead into narcissism, right? Not everyone that does get neglected or unloved becomes a narcissist, but if you are a narcissist, a lot of times it comes from what you didn't get. And so you want to make yourself, you want to be the best, right? Like we all want to be our best, but not to other people's, not with no regards to other people's feelings or how it's going to make them feel. Well, narcissists don't care how you feel. They just want to be the best, the most, the best and the most. That's what they want to be, right? And like I said, behind the mask of extreme confidence, because you think, oh my God. But I remember when I first met my ex, the first year, maybe 2, he always told me that I did more for him than he did for me. But if you was to look on the outside and look at the picture, and included with what he was doing, he was a great provider. At the time, that's all that mattered to me. I had one child left in the house. I was a single parent. I was struggling. So here comes this great, wonderful, well-dressed, good-looking man that's come to save me. He has come to save me, right? So you don't see all of those insecurities and all those non-confident feelings, right? And I might not have even saw those until maybe year 8. And it took small things. For instance, if we were somewhere, because we went out dancing a lot. If we were somewhere, and let's say it was an ex group of guys over here who was the men's, they was the men's, and even though he knew him, probably grew up with him and whatever, he knew him from out in the world, he always wanted to be a part of that. And I took that to mean that growing up, he was not, right? Because he was always wanting to be a part of the it group at that big age that he was, right? And they easily get upset. Like I told you, they don't acknowledge anything they've done wrong, but they also can get easily accepted. I guess it depends on what mood they're in. They can get upset about the slightest criticism. So if you go on and on and on with it, then it will turn into an argument. It possibly could even turn into a fight. Now, my guy never hit me, but I knew how to push his buttons and agitate the shit out of him, right? Because at some point, I got mixed up into the crazy. And I was becoming toxic, right? Before I became toxic, I don't want to say toxic, but slightly toxic before I realized, this ain't it, right? But I had became that because I just didn't understand, and I want to make my point. I want to get my point across. I want you to be correct. I want you to be right. Why can't you be right? Why can't you be right? And they're generally not very deep either. They're not very deep. They can't go deep. I used to talk to him about really deep conversations about us, and I could see the discomfort. I never saw that with anybody, the look that would come over him, right? See the discomfort in him because I was pushing him and holding him accountable, and we're going to answer and talk about this right now. And he would get very, very uncomfortable. I could see it in his face. He didn't know how to answer, but the look on his face would be of discomfort, right? And what they do, which happened in my case, because narcissists feed off of you. They need your energy. They need whatever it is they need. They're like blood suckers. They're like vampires. They're like succubuses, right? And once they have either sucked you dry or you are not able to be sucked anymore, then they go on to their next supply, right? You're just a supply to feed all of their insecurities, to do what they want you to do, to believe in them, to listen to them, to go along, to get along with them, right? And if you buck to that, and you keep doing that, you serve no purpose to them. You serve no purpose to them, and they'll go away. They'll go away. Now they come back, and we'll talk about that later, but they will go away, right? And I remember when the first time it happened to me, I didn't have no understanding because it's sudden. It ain't like, well, listen here, I don't like you no more. This ain't working. None of that. It just disappeared. Ain't answering the calls. Not calling you. Just disappeared, right? And I've dealt with that several times. Why did I do that? I don't know. I don't know. I do not know. I didn't have an understanding. I was probably in love, a heavy like at that point, and just couldn't understand. And I also have abandonment issues. I have abandonment issues. And so he would abandon me in the worst way. In the worst way, right? I'll talk about that again, and I'll go really in depth in that in my book, because it was several instances of that. So I hope that I have helped someone, and I hope that I can help someone, because maybe you don't know the signs like I didn't know the signs. I come to the conclusion later on, and it might have been year 8, 9, that this guy is a sociopath, right? The more and more I was around him. And then I would say, okay, maybe this is what my mother's husbands they all died, but my aunts, they're my uncles passed. I said, well, maybe this is what people do. In order to have a good relationship, you stick it through. That's what I always thought. That is why I dealt with a lot of things and stayed in it so long, because I thought this is what you're supposed to do. Remember, I had never been in a long-term relationship. I was through with them, and I would forget their name, but I thought you have to stick to it. This is what people do to have a successful relationship. You stick to it. You stay in it. But the key to staying in it is the other person have to work towards it as well. With a narcissist, they're not working towards anything but whatever their goal is. They are not studying your goal. Not. And like I said, in my book, I will go into it in detail. Not studying what your goal. They'll talk like it. They're very charming. They're very charming because they have to get you over to their side. That's how they get you, right? Remember the love bombing. But anyway, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Please like, please subscribe, please share me. Please get a membership. When you subscribe, get a membership, because I will be talking about, I will be doing reactor videos to whatever. If you feel like it's something I need to talk about, put it in my email. And in my membership, I can be my whole self, and I can say some things that I wouldn't say here, right? As well as we will have a book club, and I will be reading excerpts from my book, asking for you guys, what do you think, and get your opinions on certain things until my book is published. So I will be giving you a little bit of insight into what I'm writing about, okay? As well as we will be doing a meet and greet, and we're planning a trip together. All of the subscribers, or all of the members, I should say. Subscribers if they want to come. But those are things on the horizon, right? So please, like I said, like, share, comment, and subscribe. If you want to donate to my channel, the information is down in the description box, okay? Again, I hope that I am able to help someone. You're not supposed to hold stuff in. Prior to YouTube, I was pretty private about my business, right? But I had always knew, and I've always been told, that you have to share your test. That's your testimony. You have to share it so you can help others. So I hope that's what I'm doing. So anyway, you guys be cool and get your membership. All right?